using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah,
but like his core personality and his.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But
Floyd, yeah, because
Floyd Mayweather challenged Terence Crawford to fight in 2026. Crawford answered with confidence and said he is ready to settle who the better boxer is. Mayweather is almost 10 years older than Crawford, but he made the challenge because he was tired of fans comparing him to Crawford.
He played the part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
After his win, Crawford was asked about fans wanting him to fight Floyd since Floyd also wants the match. He said that if Floyd brings a big payday and the chance to face one of the best, then he is ready. He ended by saying simply, "Okay, I am in."
I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't going to.
Because fans kept pushing for it, and two former rivals said Crawford was better. Mayweather felt forced to call him out. Many people viewed this as a major insult to the achievements of Crawford. Even Shane Mosley, who lost to Mayweather on points 15 years ago, agreed with Canelo and said the claim was true.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands.
In an unexpected interview with Fight Hub TV, Mosley said he feels Bud Crawford is a better boxer than Mayweather. He also said that Mayweather is still very sharp and full of skill. Mosley explained that Crawford keeps improving, grows stronger, and continues moving up in weight. For this reason, he believes Crawford is better overall. He added that Mayweather is difficult to hit and has many strengths. Even if the fight had been very close, Mosley believes Crawford would have won because he is bigger and has a longer reach than Mayweather.
He's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather.
Then Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually taking more of a weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
Fans and analysts across the world are already arguing about whether Bud Crawford is now the greatest boxer ever after his win against Canelo. The 37-year-old returned to the #1 spot in the pound-for-pound rankings with a huge victory. Before the fight, Canelo shared his view, and after the loss he said it again, stating that Crawford is better than him. During his post-fight press conference, Canelo caused a stir by saying that Terence Crawford is a better boxer than Floyd Mayweather. He clearly said that Crawford is far better than Mayweather.
You can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Important to note that this comment came from Canelo, who has fought both Crawford and Mayweather in the ring. His strong statement after losing shows either real respect or a true belief that Crawford is clearly superior. The boxing world reacted quickly to what the Mexican star said. Some fans said Crawford moved through many weight classes to face dangerous opponents, while others pointed to Mayweather's perfect record and long list of achievements. Terence Crawford also spoke on the topic and said that Canelo has fought both of them. From that experience, he believes Crawford is better. He shared this view on the Ariel Helwani show and said that Canelo was in the ring with both fighters, and people can say anything they want, but Canelo has shared the ring with them both.
You know, how did that feel to hear that from someone like him?
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best.
Was ready for the body shots. You know, occasionally the straight right hand to the body would land for Canelo. But, you know, sooner or later, Crawford started getting out of the way of that as well by just pivoting, you know, on the angle and, you know, making Canelo reach. There were spots inside the ring that I saw Crawford, you know.
Since this comes down to personal opinion, the argument will likely go on for a very long time. Both Crawford and Mayweather were champions for many years in different weight divisions and will be remembered as two of the greatest American boxers ever. Right now, the main goal for both fighters is to keep their unbeaten records. Still, there is an interesting discussion about the different ways they stayed undefeated. Boxer Ryan Garcia shared his thoughts on this topic during an episode of Ring Magazine Inside the Ring show on September 10th.
You know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't go off of that. You know, Floyd is the best fighter, you know, in his era. And
Max Kellerman believes Manny Pacquiao deserves a higher place than Mayweather on the pound-for-pound list of the greatest boxers ever. He shared this view after ESPN ranked Mayweather first and Pacquiao second. Earlier this month, former NFL player Lehan Mako said that no one changed boxing like Floyd Money Mayweather, and not in a good way. Ryan Garcia also spoke about this and said Mayweather is very smart about knowing when to fight and when to wait. He said Mayweather is the best at making money and setting up big events. However, Garcia argued that most of Mayweather fights were planned at the right time for him and that he rarely faced rivals at their best after the junior lightweight division. He said this hurt the sport and agreed that many fighters focus too much on protecting an unbeaten record.
It's a game like Floyd Money Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, he's the best in that game. He's the best in, you know, making money and making all the, you know, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
After junior lightweight. Junior lightweight,
he changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had
a lot of the stuff that Canelo was doing. And, you know, that I would say this, that work from Boots helped in that aspect because Canelo was reacting to a lot of the counters that Crawford was throwing. Usually in the past, you know, Canelo would stand right there. He would lunge and he would stay in place, keep his feet in place. However,
some people are now rethinking the rankings because of what Crawford has achieved lately. These talks make sense since Crawford is in his prime and still fighting at the highest level. Max Kellerman, a boxing analyst with many years of experience, talked about a possible Crawford versus Mayweather fight on his show Inside the Ring. He agreed that Mayweather has some clear edges over Crawford, especially his reputation, defensive style, and fast hands. There is no question that Mayweather's strong technical skill helped him become one of the greatest boxing champions in history.
Because, like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first.
Kellerman also pointed out that Mayweather became more selective with who he fought after leaving the lightweight division and facing stronger opponents. He said Mayweather planned each step very carefully. This approach kept his record perfect, but made people question whether he truly wanted to face opponents at their best. Kellerman compared this to Crawford, who has shown he is willing to fight anyone throughout his career, showing how fans and fighters respond differently to each approach.
I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with...
Kellerman highlighted that Floyd has a much longer record than Crawford. He was quicker, stronger on defense, and very careful about choosing opponents after leaving the lightweight division. On the other hand, Crawford has shown he is willing to face anyone in his career, even with some tough moments along the way. Kellerman also compared Crawford to legends like Sugar Ray Robinson and Roy Jones Jr., saying that Crawford has earned respect in a similar way. At that level, it is not just about wins or numbers.
A lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
yes,
fight.
Yes, sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah.
Boxing fans have noted that Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford have a lot in common, but that does not reduce the respect Floyd has earned. Crawford admires Mayweather, and when asked about their similarities, Mayweather shared a few thoughts. He is seen as a legend. Crawford praised Floyd and acknowledged just how exceptional he really is. In some ways we are very similar, he said, but I take more risks, so we are a little different. Early in his career, he took many chances. He was clearly talking about Floyd Mayweather. Whether it was about money or facing tough opponents, Floyd, also known as Pretty Boy, aimed to be in control. Later he injured his hands, which made it harder to keep the same power and pushed him to move up and fight bigger opponents.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. If you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
Crawford said that he and Mayweather share many similarities, but fans have long compared them to see who is better. Some even suggested that Crawford could win if they ever faced each other. In pure boxing skill, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is unmatched. He combines smart strategy with sharp jabs, speed, accuracy, and expert counterpunching to beat every opponent. Crawford pointed out that Floyd, also called Pretty Boy, was more aggressive early in his career, taking the fight to his opponents, while later Money Mayweather studied opponents and beat them with superior technique. Both approaches brought Floyd fame, and fans are still impressed by how well Crawford performed against Spence in his latest fight.
Rich from the left hooks again. He's a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him, and then he hit his head off it en masse here at the engine.
Crawford is an outstanding boxer who repeatedly broke through Spence's defense with sharp jabs and timed counterpunches perfectly. Even a fighter as talented as Spence looked impressive against him. While Mayweather's technique alone makes anyone cautious, Crawford's style is different, powerful, and highly effective. If Crawford faced Mayweather at his peak using precise shots against Mayweather's defense, it would be difficult to tell who would land the first jab or block the strongest punch. With so many possibilities, the fight could easily be seen as even. Mayweather often calmed opponents before drawing them to the center of the ring, analyzing quickly, and executing a plan to control the match. By following the rule of hit and don't get hit, he became an undefeated 5-division world champion and Hall of Famer. Crawford, undefeated as a junior welterweight and now competing at welterweight, has also shown exceptional skill and intelligence in the ring.
He drops him again. That's a hard knockdown that time with the left hook. How about that? Keeps battling, falling forward. Uppercut. Terence Crawford has stopped.
Mayweather was famous for his quick hands, especially when counterpunching in the later rounds. Crawford, however, uses sharp angles and a whipping style that makes him equally fast. Mayweather won 50 fights, 27 by knockout. Crawford has 40 wins, 31 by knockout, and is still competing. His talent was clear in his fight against Spence, dropping him 3 times before finishing with a dominant 9th-round TKO.
Comparison between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
yes,
fight.
Yes, sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah. Spence was a strong puncher and tough to handle, especially on the body, making him a challenging opponent. He earned his spot as a joint world welterweight champion by beating Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yadenis Ugas. Yet Crawford made it look easy, using his power to control the fight. Mayweather, in contrast, leaned on the ropes, using his shoulder in the Philly shell to block shots while landing punches with his free hand. His defense naturally shifted into counterpunching. Crawford is also strong on defense, but Mayweather's was nearly perfect and on another level. If Crawford and Mayweather ever fought, the outcome would be hard to predict. After a careful first round to size each other up, Crawford would likely grow more aggressive, landing several punches while Mayweather absorbed many on his shoulder and elbow. By the middle rounds, Mayweather's plan would be clear, hitting Crawford with precise jabs and powerful counters in some rounds.
Hook, you want to change you want to hook from the hips. So when you hook, boom, this toe gonna go up and this one gonna go down. So you here and it's gonna go boom. So you can do a 45 or you can do straight. You come straight from the shoulders, boom. Open it up a little bit, bam. But get that, there you go. So, yeah, so you want to come, everything you do, you want to come from the shoulders, boom. Just turn it. When you coming in there, you hear, boom.
And that's where that torque gonna come from. The hips, your legs, all the way up in there.
If Crawford keeps up constant pressure, his power could occasionally trouble Mayweather. Even in a tight fight, Crawford's skill and heavy punches might earn him points for his aggression and high punch volume against Mayweather's defense. After his career-defining win over Canelo Alvarez to claim the undisputed title, Terence Crawford stayed humble, aware that debates about his place in boxing greatness are far from over.
The fighter, and that challenge for him pushed him even harder to train harder and to be better. That challenge, went up against Canelo, moving up 2 divisions, hearing that people are saying, "Oh, he didn't look too good against Madrimov, so how could he look good at 68?" Well, that motivated him more, man. He trained hard. He did.
Many thought this fight could decide the best boxer since Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. With respect to Alexander Usyk, Crawford appeared to reach that level. He became the 6th male boxer to win titles in 5 weight classes and the first in 4-belt history to hold undisputed championships in 3 of them. Alvarez had been boxing's biggest star over the past 10 years and the pound-for-pound king until 2022. Crawford's win not only improved his earnings, but, more importantly, strengthened his reputation in the sport.
Look at this, it's unbelievable. 2 young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you're seeing one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. If you're wearing, then he's nowhere. You think you... And again, it's not just hand quickness, it's the movement of the head. The way he rolls with punches. Look at the way he makes a miss. I mean, here we go. Through a series of punches and nothing really landed. Terrific fighter. For Mayweather. All right.
When asked if he had anything in common with Mayweather, Crawford avoided making comparisons. At his post-fight news conference, he said, "Listen, Floyd was the best of his time, and I am the best of my time. You don't need to compare." About 15 minutes later, the discussion grew more intense when Alvarez, who respected Crawford despite losing, was asked who he thought was the better fighter. At that time, Alvarez was 23 and had previously lost his first professional fight to Mayweather, who was 36.
Work on what you need to work on. Put your head down and grind. You get results like this.
I noticed that when I was watching the fight that Terence Crawford specifically, whichever side that Canelo threw at him, Terence would respond with a shot from that side as well. Did you see that in the tape that you watched of Canelo as a weakness, where he was vulnerable to shots at the same side that he threw?
Well, if you go back and look at the fight, you can hear us in the corner saying, when he go wide.
Crawford deserves all the credit. "I gave everything I had tonight, but I just couldn't match his style. He had an answer for everything. I think Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather," Alvarez said. He added that the debate will keep going until they actually fight. That's all there is to it. Whenever there's new boxing news highlights or events, we share them on our YouTube channel, so keep your notifications on to catch every update.